Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Karen Cotton. Thank you for joining us for the Research and Innovation Training Institute today. We have as our trainer, Ms. Shayla Wiggins. Shayla is a native Mississippian who, before her move to Texas, was a longtime resident of New Orleans, where she served as a fourth grade teacher and a member of a popular dance company. Didn't know that, Shayla. She received a bachelor's degree in English from Tulane University and a master's degree in community development from Prairie View. Since becoming an instructor at Prairie View in 2004, Shayla has taught a number of courses and served as the associate director of the university's Quality Enhancement Plan. She currently serves as the associate director for the Center for Teaching Excellence, and previously she served as interim director of University College and the Office of First and Second Year Experience at Prairie View. The thing that I find most intriguing about Shayla is that she is an inventive and energetic problem solver with a thirst for learning and a passion for teaching. She is also a passionate advocate and practitioner of more efficient and effective methods for engaging and educating learners. Ms. Wiggins is a devout believer in trying all things creative, fun, and unorthodox to make learning and working impactful, impressive, and efficient. She has a passion for helping students, faculty, and staff find creative ways to use technology to communicate, innovate, engage, and learn. And that is what brings her here today. As you know, we've been doing a series on increasing the visibility of your research. And with that, we have Shayla Wiggins here from the Center for Teaching Excellence to teach us about creating our own professional websites. So thank you, Shayla, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for being here for this training today. Shayla, what do you have for us today?
Thank you so much, Ms. Cotton. Thank you, everybody, for your patience and for joining us this afternoon. Today, we are going to talk about how to increase your visibility as a researcher with a professional website. And I want to jump right into things because we're going to spend the majority of our time together playing in our online sandbox. Hopefully by the time we part ways today, each of you will be able to take something that you can use to immediately start rethinking the way you share your advances in research and your research interests with the rest of the world. So with that being said, it's very important to be visible as a researcher. It's important to be visible because that's how we generate interest in our research areas. It's how we attract funding. It's how we show our funders that not only are we legitimate researchers, we're passionate. We are focused researchers in our area. Increasing our visibility means that we increase the opportunities to collaborate with peers who are just as passionate and involved and intense as we are about our areas of research, and who are also able to help us come in and think differently about the research interests and the projects, the articles, the potential collaborative initiatives that we may be thinking about. And it's also important to increase our visibility so that we can increase our notoriety as subject matter experts, so that we not only represent the institution with the spirit of excellence, we also represent our research fields and our colleagues with a spirit of excellence as well. With using websites to help us to be more visible, this gives us an opportunity to link our instances of our research that we may have, for instance, on ResearchGate or on other online portals, all in one place. Websites are very portable. We don't have to necessarily print out or go find photocopied articles or download articles or try to email articles to colleagues, peers, or potential funders if we have our own website. All of those things can be housed in one location. Having a website also allows us to be consistent in how we share information. As you know, having a website means that you can go in and regularly update the information that you share. You can add to your list of publications. You can add videos or interviews or things like that that are part of your research areas. You can categorize with different pages on your website the types of research in which you've been involved. It's also nice because on a website, you can even go in and add a timeline of your research. You can talk about collaborative projects that you've done with other institutions, with your graduate students. It's a great way not only to publicize what you're doing with the contact forms and other methods of collaboration that are available on a website. You can also go out and pique the interest of potential collaborators, potential funders who may not know that you are the person that they were looking for. With a personal website, you can also pull in additional resources, like I mentioned, from other endeavors. If you do consulting work, this is a place where you can house some of the advances and some of the opportunities that you've had as a part of that consulting. Perhaps you worked with a summer bridge program at another institution while you were away from teaching for a summer. Perhaps you are part of a nonprofit in the community and you want to include that in your body of work to show that not only am I a researcher in my area, I'm an active practitioner of the things that I research. Here's what I do in, I don't know, Katy ISD or Sheldon ISD with students, not only to share these advances in results from our research, but also to help grow and develop other researchers for the future. So it shows that you're well-rounded. If you've done interviews as a subject matter expert in other areas, in other channels, not only is the Prairie View website and our Office of Marketing and Communications a great resource through which to funnel those experiences, you can also use your own website to house the archives and the video footage or the write-ups in newspapers that have been done about you or to which you've contributed. If you've done op-eds in newspapers, what a great place to house those in if you have your own website. With a personal website, it's extremely customizable. I think Mr. Douglas a few months back from Office of Marcom did a great presentation about branding. He and several of the other team members, Ms. Shayla and a few other people from the Office of Marcom did a great presentation about branding. This website gives you another opportunity to think about and craft and share your brand with the rest of the world. You can use it, as we've said, as a hub for your work, or you can use your website to supplement the other places in which you live online. For example, if you have a strong presence on LinkedIn, you can link your website through your LinkedIn profile and include it as a supplement if that's the place through which you communicate the most in your professional life with the rest of the world. In Twitter, if you are a heavy Twitter user, and that's where you share the body of your work and your research profile with the rest of the world, you can use your website as a supplement in those areas. Also, with using your own website, it's a one-stop shop. If you choose to use it as a hub, it's a one-stop shop for your research areas. As we all know, websites can come with one or many pages. You can be as detailed or as broad as you like when you're deciding what to share on your website. If you have several areas of research in which you are participating or have participated, what a great way to use each page to kind of highlight the work you've done in those areas. It's a great place for you to share with the rest of the world your brand. Who are you? What are you about? Not just a person who writes articles, but who are you as you're thinking about funding? We all know when you're writing grants, they want to know, to whom are we giving $4 million? Right? Not just the body of work, but the person. Are they going to lead this team into the kind of results that we're looking for? It's a great place for you to put additional contact information so people don't have to go looking for, how do I find you on ResearchGate? You can link all of your articles on ResearchGate. How do I email you? You put your email address, your phone number, any way in which you want to be contacted. You can put your Twitter handles. All of that can go on your website. It's also a great place for you to list your experience. It's a great place for you not only to talk about your experience as an academic, but also your experience as a researcher, your experience as someone who's involved in the community, if that's what you choose to include as a part of your brand. With your own website, you get to control the type and the amount of information about yourself or your research that you share with the world. That's the beauty of it. You get to decide how you want to look to the rest of the world, how you want it to be shared. With the website platform that I'm going to share with you today, you can even decide how you want to be found, or if you want to be found at all, if someone Googles your name. Do you want your website to pop up, or do you want your profile on LinkedIn to pop up when someone Googles your name? How do you want to be found? So with the website platform that I'm going to share with you today, which is called Wix, W-I-X, Wix is one of the many platforms that you can use to build a site. Google has platforms, there's Weebly, there are several others that are user-friendly. Wix happens to be a personal favorite for me because they have what we call HTML5 in terms of the ability for the graphics to be clear, to be clean, crisp. Once we get into it today, you'll see you can do a number of things with Wix. You can make your website as simple or as detailed as you like. With Wix, I'm going to show you today two options that you have to build your website. You can use what they call ADI, which means you get a template and you just kind of fill in the template, which is nice if you don't want to do the work of web design. Using the ADI feature that Wix has available for free is a great way to get started quickly and just kind of drop and drag and fill in your contact information, and you can add onto that site as time goes on. Or with Wix, you can start from scratch. If you'd like to make up your own and you have a vision of what you want your site to look like, Wix offers that option for you to start from scratch. With that being said, before I jump into our demo and give you a chance to kind of create an account with Wix if you'd like, I want to stop here and see if there are any questions, comments, or concerns before we jump into our demo.
There are a couple of questions in the chat box.
Okay.
One is, would the websites be hosted by R&I? And I can answer that one. It would be something that's an option for you. As Shayla mentioned, Wix is one option. There are other options as well, but it's something that you would be responsible for setting up and maintaining yourself. And with the option that Shayla is using, as with others, it's pretty simple to set it up. Another question is, how do we get one, or do we make our own? Is there a template? There are templates, and I think Shayla's going to go over that. Any recommended website for our web page development? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But there are some templates. If that does not answer your question, there are some templates, and Shayla will be going over that. Is there a way to have your research the first thing to pop up on Google instead of other sites?
There are ways that you can kind of play around with your SEO, which is the search engine optimization features. You can play around with those, and using the Wix site gives you that option. And Wix is a great tool. I'm, like I said, personal favorite of mine, because with Wix, they give you tutorials on how to do every single thing that you can do to make your website popular. So there are some SEO optimizations, SEO options, through Wix that we can kind of take a peek at today. But yes, there are ways for you to do that.
And that is in response to the question about making your information pop up. Does the SEO option charge extra?
That I don't remember. I think there's an option for you to use it for free, but don't quote me. We can take a peek at it today, because I will be honest, I don't remember if that's part of the premium or the pro package, or if you can toggle that on for free. We'll take a peek today.
No, don't apologize for the questions. Great questions. And there's also Google provides a service free where you can find words that would help you to optimize your searchability, if you will. Thank you. Thank you for the questions. Please keep them coming.
Yes, please. This is great.
Okay,
And
Shayla?
okay, and if at any point from this, I just wanted to give us a brief overview before I jumped in, because I didn't want to go back and forth between the presentation and then the website. I wanted to get this part out of the way so we could understand why we're looking at this and how it might benefit us. But from this point forward, please stop me. If you would like to stop me and say, I have a question, I am perfectly okay with that, especially with what we're about to walk through. Hi, Dr. Pulikathar, you got a question?
Very quickly, it's a little related. Looking for where do we find our professional headshots that we took in the Memorial Student Center? So then that would be the nice one that we can upload to websites and so on.
I think they're in SharePoint now. When I took a peek last week, the headshots that were done in, what was it, October? And then again, the ones that were done in August, I think they've been uploaded to the SharePoint site, those new headshots. I think they're in the intranet, the campus intranet. And the way I found it, I didn't see the link and I wasn't sure how to get to it. So when I logged into SharePoint, I just went to the search bar and I just typed in headshots and the link popped up.
That's exactly how I found it.
That was a good question.
Great question.
Okay, well, I will stop sharing this screen so we can go to our Wix screen. All right. So I am going to first walk us through how you would create a Wix account. I'll do that first because I know that just like our students are varied types of modalities and we're all multimodal. Some of us have a stronger preference for the visual. Some of us have a stronger preference for the tactile and kinesthetic. So for those of you who are like myself, extremely preference towards the tactile kinesthetic, I would want to play with this while someone was talking about it. So I'm going to show you how to do that for those of you who prefer that method. So go to wix.com. It's wix.com. I'll also place that in the chat. There it is. Sorry. The other one wasn't going to be clickable. So if you go to wix.com, and unfortunately, I am already logged in. Let me log out. You can sign up for a Wix account by going through, if you have a Gmail account, it's one of the easiest ways to do it. So if you have a Google account, you can continue with Google and just sign up through Google. Now, I will say this, and this is a personal recommendation. This is not it's not any type of mandate. Because we have beautifully strong spam filters on our email at the institution to protect us, sometimes outside emails may get blocked through our spam filters. If you are planning to set up a website, I would recommend using your own Gmail address. Just because when Wix sends you emails, or if you set up a contact form via Wix and they automatically notify you that somebody filled out your form, you may or may not get those notifications in your Prairie View inbox because they might get flagged as spam. So when you're signing up, just consider perhaps using a personal email address to create your Wix account, okay? I am going to use a Gmail account. So I will click on continue with Google, and I'm going to click shayla.pvamu@gmail.com. And once it loads, I will get this screen and it's done. It just says get started. All right. With the get started, I'll click on that. Now they're already trying to help you build a website. Okay. Like I said, Wix personal favorite because they are very user friendly. They already want to help me build a website. What I would pick if you're doing this as a personal profile, I would click this that says portfolio. Now, I say portfolio only because this version of the template is going to come preloaded with certain types of pages that are designed to showcase work, which is what we would want to do as a researcher. If, however, you are more concerned with sharing updates and details about a particular project, perhaps that you're working on, you might choose blog, because that type of template is going to come preloaded with pages that allow people to subscribe to your blog and follow you, to get updates when you post new information. Let's say you want to, as a side note, let's say you want to set up a personal website, like a blog site, to have your students get updates on a collaborative project, or if you're working with colleagues across the country, let's say you guys are working on this huge grant or this huge collaborative project. This is a great way for you all to share information. Remember, it's a website though, so it would be shared outward facing to the public. So that's something to consider. So those are just a couple of options. Really quickly, I'm going to click on portfolio. As you can see, Wix even then offers you multiple options for the type of portfolio that you could set up. You have generalist, a general portfolio, journalist. You have a PR portfolio that of course would contain a lot more pictures, just like digital art, game design, and film student. I'm going to click on general portfolio, and then I'll click next. Here, you get to name it. They're already moving you in to naming your site. You're building from moment one, which is beautiful. So we'll name this our first research site. And we'll just pick that name. And you can always go back and change the name of the site. Here, they're asking you, what are some other things that you'd like to do? What are the goals for this? They're helping you build pages, and they're thinking about what kind of templates can they offer you that would be of benefit to you, because they don't want you to leave. They want you to stick around and keep going with this. They try to make this as user-friendly as possible. So for us, let's see, what do you all think we should click? This is interactive. So anybody can unmute and tell me which one you think we should click, or which ones, because we can click more than one of these.
Build a community.
Okay, that sounds great. Anybody else? Thank you, Dr. Pulikathara.
I would say share knowledge and promote myself.
Ah, great. So let's click on those two. Anyone else? Those three? All right, let's go with those three and see what we're offered. Now, here are some other options. I am going to uncheck chat. We are not, if this is not something you want to have to monitor every day because somebody is getting online like they do at those car salesman websites where you always get a pop-up that says, "Hi, my name is Tracy, I'm here to help you." And all you were doing is trying to research a car you saw in a commercial. If you don't want that feature on your site, uncheck this. If you want forms though, you can have people subscribe. You can do contact forms. You could click that. I'm not going to click that today because what we're trying to do right now is put something out there that will showcase what we do. There are several other options. As you can see with Wix, you could sell things, you could make appointments, you could set up training programs. You could, if you were a restaurant, you could have people book a table. We're not trying to do any of that. So I am not going to click any of these today. You can always come back and add these at a later date though. Now we're going to click next. I'm going to pause right here and I would like to hear from you all, or you can put a hand up or thumbs up. How many of you all have used Wix before? Anybody? I'll do my teacher wait time just to be sure. Okay, thank you, Dr. Abram Johnson. Okay, Fantastic. Thank you all for responding. So that lets me know how in depth, or if anybody wants to jump in and chime in. Dr. Abram Johnson, since you've used this before, please at any time, if you would like to add something, I'm all for it. Okay, so we will continue on. We're going to say that this is our first time creating a website. And they're going to give us extra help by using ADI. I highly recommend this feature, and you'll see why in just a moment. With ADI, we won't use the template over here on the right side because that's going to require us to do a little bit more work. But if we use ADI, I'll click on that and I'll show you what they give us as options. If you have a website or that already exists, or you have some place where you've been storing information, this is a great place for you to come in and incorporate it. But we don't have that, so we're just going to click next. Here is where you can add, Dr. Pulakathara, you were talking about a headshot. Right here where it says add logo, you could actually add your headshot right there. If you have a personal logo, you want to use your initials, you can add that as well. It just helps with the branding. This is where you can come in and change the name of the site, change your contact email address. And as you can see, it's just other contact information here. If you want to add links to your LinkedIn account, this is a great place to do it because it will show up in the footer of your website. So if you have any other social media accounts, this is a great place in which to add that. But we won't today. We'll click on next. And this is where we pick a theme. So we have high rise, innovative, indie, hype, loft, and chic or chic. Uh-oh, I am off the internet. Just a moment, technical difficulties. Let's see if it'll make us start over. Here we are. Ooh, picked us up right where we left off. Fantastic. So does anyone have a preference? Anybody can jump out there. First person to respond, you get to pick.
Innovative.
Oh, who was that who said indie? I heard that first. Okay. Well, I heard indie first. Sorry, Dr. Pulakathara, he just beat you out. Okay, so we're going to pick indie and see what that looks like. Now, once you pick a theme, you are still given options. Wix loves to give its users lots of options to take a lot of the guesswork out, because website design from scratch is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're adding every button, every link, every photo, every overlay, every animation from scratch. I would not recommend it if this is not something you want to engage in full time in terms of putting in the hours, but use ADI, and you'll see why here in just a moment. So we have some different options here. We have a nice clean light background. We have a nice contrast here. This one over here has lots of photos. This is all about your own personal style. If we scroll down, we can go with maybe this first one, okay? This is easy on the eyes, it's nice and clean. We'll click on that one and use that design. You can always go back, you're gonna go back and customize. Now, this is the next level. Here, you add the pages that you want on your site. And as you can see, the templates are already done for these. So I would say you want an about page so people can get to know your background. You add as much information or as little as you'd like. Selected work, for sure, we're going to add that one because we want to be able to showcase what we've been working on. Contact, I would say that one is a give me. We want to add that as well. Experience. If you are at all, and we all know, if you're at all looking to use this to kind of bolster your chances of getting some of these grants and fellowships and some other types of funding, putting experience on here will make a difference. Okay. Education, that'll be up to you if you choose to add that. We won't add it this time, but I take that back. We will add it because we know some grants call for qualification. And they want to see, are the researchers, are the primary investigators, are they qualified for these fields, and they use that as criteria. If you want, you can add a blank page. We won't do that today. And I'm going to go ahead and click skills, because we can tailor these pages. Instead of saying skills, we might call that page articles, right? We might call it areas of expertise. Now, here we finish with that portion. And now we can go down and click on edit site. They're adding our pages for us. Oh, great question. Is it possible to create two sites? I'm in the chat using the same Wix site, like blog site and another non-blog site? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can create more than one site. You can create several different sites, and they'll all have a different URL under your account. That's a great question. Now, this piece right here, some of us might find that this title is too informal. Hi, I'm First Research Site. You might simply put, once I double clicked on it, you saw this pop up over here on the left where it says title. You might call this your first and last name. We'll say Jane Doe, okay? And in general portfolio, you might say research site or research areas of expertise or areas of, I can spell today, research interest. For the image, we can change that as well. I'll click on this icon right here, and you see a little pop-up menu, an option popped up that said replace. I clicked on that, and now Wix offers you stock photos. So you don't necessarily have to go find them out on the internet. Wix will offer you photos that are attribution-free, royalty-free, photos that you don't have to pay extra for. They offer you some things. This, if you click on Shutterstock, you're going to pay for those. Shutterstock has great photos, but they cost. But if you stay with media from Wix or media from Unsplash, those are always free. Okay. With media from Wix, we can click on, we can type in the word research. And this one is a lab technician spraying plants. Somebody's in a lab. We'll click on this, scientist with a microscope. And we'll click apply. And there we have it. If you wanted your photo to be here, this could be where you put your headshot. If you have a picture that you've used in your own research, this is a great place to add that. Now, Wix just told us our site is saved. Up here where I'm circling, you can always click on this option right here where it says preview. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It gives you an idea of what your website looks like in two versions. This is the desktop. If you notice right here, here's your title, looks nice and professional. The pages that we clicked on that we said we wanted, they're already up here. We don't have to go and add those. All we have to do is customize them. And if we scroll down, this is called a parallax because this is a strip. And so it makes it look all professional because our name is kind of going over the picture. And then this is where we would go in and adjust our bio, our experience, education, all of these things that you want on your homepage will appear. How nice is this checkerboard pattern where you can go in and change the titles? And I'll show you in a moment. You can hyperlink these photos to other pages, to other sites within your site or to external locations. And then if we scroll down a little farther, you have your photo gallery down here at the bottom. And you can change the way this looks. If you have photos from your research, if you have photos of articles, books, yourself with students who've, signed their waivers or what have you, great opportunities.
There is a question in the chat. If we want images with our students, do we need to sign a photo release form?
I would say yes. because if we have to do it if we have to do it for them to appear in things that we're posting even for the university, I would definitely say get something to get their permission. And maybe contact the Office of Marketing and Communication to better, because I'm not quite sure and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I would definitely say that you would need to get something signed from the students, and maybe Office of Marcom, Ms. Cotton, I'm not sure, would have a form for that.
That would be my suggestion, would be to contact the University Marketing and Communications Department. It could be that yes, Candace Johnson and that team. It could be that there is a blanket agreement that is already signed. So, upon admission. So just check with them to make sure that that is covered.
Great question.
Great question.
Before we go back to the editor, because I'm going to stop in just a moment so that you all can ask questions and we can kind of click around. I just wanted to give you a brief tour and an overview to show you what's possible. Before we leave the preview, I wanted to show you that if you click on this, you see there are two versions in which we can view our website. Wix automatically creates for you a mobile-friendly version. So I'm going to click on mobile so we can see what our site would look like on a tablet. And the form they give us is always a cell phone. Not quite sure where it went. Let's try. Okay, let's try it again. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with Wix today, but normally the website appears here so that you can view it. And I have another one pulled up. I have another website pulled up. So we'll look at the mobile view, maybe on one of those sites. I'm not quite sure why that one's not working. But anywho, we will go back and I want to show you just a couple of features. As you can see, anything you click on, the ability to edit it pops up. So you can click edit and you edit the text, or you can click design and you can change the photos. If you notice over here on the left, you can even change the layout of each of these sections. If you don't like that side by side and you don't like the photo, it's too many pictures for you, you can simplify it like the one I'm circling and just make it text only. So you have several options for each of these features on your site. Over here in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to click on this arrow to show you this is where you go to manage each of your pages. And let's click on the selected work page. So on this page, this is where you can go in and change what that looks like. You can do links to articles, you can do photos. The sky is literally the limit as to what you can do on each of these pages. If you just want to do simple text and do links to each of the articles that you've done, or book chapters, or interviews, this is a great place for you to go in and play around with that. I'm going to click on contact so you can see what that looks like. This contact page is really for the user, for the viewer, so that they can contact you on their own. But if we click on design, you see that there are lots of ways that this can appear. Now, there is a way, if you want to get more advanced with it, if you want people to be able to reach out to you through your site, you could change this page to a form, and it would be just like a fillable contact us form you see on other websites. You have that option in Wix as well, to go in and have people write to you on the site and give you feedback if that's what you like. And I'll stop here because I think that may help to give you an idea of some of the features and some of the things that you can do. I want to open up the floor or our Zoom session for questions or comments, any ideas you might be having. I see a question in the chat.
Yes, the question is, if you have a co-collaborator who you have endless research publications with, would you suggest that they work collaboratively with such a site or independently? And what are the advantages or disadvantages for each?
Okay, great question. If you and a co-collaborator are working together on multiple projects and you all have decided on a template for your website and you've agreed that we're going to share this with the world, I would say working together is a great idea. That way it doesn't put the task of updating the site on one person. Both of you, if you're trusting each other enough to work together so closely on research, from everything I've ever learned at Prairie View, working together with someone on research is it has to be a very trust-rich relationship. So it sounds like you and that other person work together well. I would say working together is probably a better option so that you can both go in and make updates. And then the advantages, I see that you're asking about the advantages and the disadvantages. The advantages of working together, again, is that not only it doesn't fall on just one person to keep the site up to date. Both of you can work together. Disadvantages, if your co-collaborator decides that they don't like the design today, or hey, that's old, we're going to take it off and delete it, then it's a disadvantage because it doesn't appear forward facing anymore. But the advantage of using Wix is that it saves your site versions. There's a site version history that you can access. And if somebody accidentally erases a page or they erase some information that you thought should still be made available, you can go back in and retrieve that. So it's a disadvantage, but Wix offers an advantage to kind of fix that situation. I hope that answers your question.
And also an advantage, if you will, Shayla, of doing your own is that it does not limit you. You can add the information that you share with that other collaborator, but also it leaves you open for other opportunities and for works that you do that do not involve that one person.
I have a question.
Shared site, you can always put links to that shared site on your individual. Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, this
No,
Anand Amarasekara from chemistry department.
Slow down,
I have a question
appreciate.
also regarding how do you link this site to the department and the college? So somebody outside looking through PV and the college website and to the department and see my name, and then how my name in the department site linked to this Wix site. How do you get it linked?
Oh, great question. So a couple of things, and Ms. Cotton, please jump in and correct me if I'm heading in the wrong direction. A couple of things come to mind. First thing that I've been told over the years is that if I'm going to link something I'm doing for the institution to an outside site, two groups I have to talk to first. I have to go to my department head and let them know, hey, this is what I'm publishing. Are we good with this? And I also have to go to the Office of Marketing and Communication to make sure I'm within the guidelines because I'm sharing as a representative of the institution. So even when departments want to do YouTube sites, we still have to walk through a set of protocols. So I would go to those two groups first just to get the clearance. Then to share on the department's website, that if you all, I think in chemistry, I think you all have your photos and then your profile, you may be able to have that link listed. I know some departments on campus for their faculty profiles, I'll see a picture, phone number, email, and then there may be a space under that where you can put the link to your website as a way to contact you. The second place I would say put it where everybody can see it is in your email signature. That's a great place because people see that and then they get curious because it's not a phone number or an email address and people will click on it to see what it is. Does that help a little?
Yes. I am the department head.
Oh, well, there we go.
So whom should I contact?
Your
For
dean.
the chemistry department
Your dean.
website to
Just-
link to.
Yes. Speak with your
Talk to your
dean to
dean.
make sure that they are okay with you adding that link. And most deans will not have a problem with it because again, it increases the visibility of you and your research and Prairie View.
Absolutely.
So most deans are not going to have a problem with it, but just get the approval from your dean.
Yeah, putting in the email signature, I don't think you have to get permission from anybody for that one, or do you know anything?
I would just because.
Yeah, okay.
Great question.
Because it's the email signature of your Prairie View email address, so it's a representative of Prairie View.
Yes.
So I would just get that approval. It should be
Okay.
enough.
Good, very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very helpful, and because we've been trying for years to get these websites to the department. I have tried almost 6 months contacting several people, but we have failed badly on this one. Yes, it's a very good direction that we can go.
Great, great.
Great. Glad
So
to
is
Any
hear
other
there
that.
no
questions?
way to get a web page through the PVAMU domain? Or are we restricted to having to get it off of the
Yeah,
PV
that's right.
system?
We were trying to get through the PV domain, but there was no help from the communication or whatever the department
Yeah.
is. I was contacting somebody called Ashley Levia, but she didn't help at all, right? That's
Yes,
I
yes,
wanted
I
to
do know
say
Ashley. Shayla,
in,
do you want to take that?
I-
If you
to everybody. Yeah.
Well, I think we can maybe tag team
Okay,
because
so
yeah,
Ashley will work with the chemistry department.
right.
Ashley will
right.
work with the chemistry department as a whole. And if there are updates that you need with regard to the chemistry
But
department.
we were not allowed to put any details or pictures in the under the university domain. So that's what the problem was.
Hmm.
Just the name and the picture. That's all we were given permission to.
Hmm.
Well, no, because we have individual pages set up for the faculty, at least those that have given me the information for it. But I mean, in terms of having a web page that we could update ourselves, I guess that's my question. Is
Each department has a person that the university designates as the person who is responsible for your website. So you may want to find out who that person is, or if there's not a person designated, then
okay, but I guess
the
that's still part of my question is,
Okay.
are we not able to get, am I not able to get a web page that I can update on the PV domain myself?
for your personal professional use
Yes,
information.
Because I would like it to be built according to the marketing guidelines and brands that have been established, and I know that that's already done. But being able to this is the only place I've been at where I haven't been able to build my own web page. That's what, and I guess that's what I have found frustrating is I can't have a professional web page here because I'm not allowed to.
Okay.
That's,
Go ahead,
I don't know if that
Exactly
makes
the
sense. to what-
It
same
makes
question that I was raising.
Yes, it makes sense. And I understand what you're talking about, Dr. Valles, because I know at other institutions, when I'm looking at their centers for teaching excellence or their different departments, there are faculty profiles, even at, public schools where the high schools are and middle schools. One teacher might have like a teacher page or a faculty page that kind of lists their research interests and gives you just a little background about that faculty member. It's nothing fancy. It's usually just one page.
Right.
And I understand what I know exactly what you're talking about. I guess that's a conversation to be had with marketing and communications, because I'm sure neither one of you are probably the first to bring that up, but maybe it's something to bring up and ask about, because that would increase the visibility of faculty and their interest.
Right. So, I mean, it would look better from our perspective if it was pvamu.edu. That's, I mean, there's the brand there behind that, and someone looking at that page is going to know this is a part of the university.
Right.
That's that's what I would think we would want.
That makes sense. And I completely agree with you and understand where you're coming from, because it legitimizes the information that you share, because it's pvamu.edu/jvalles. And that lends a whole different level of credibility to what you say you do, because it's attached to the university. But I guess, Ms. Cotton, correct me if I'm wrong, that would definitely be something to ask, because I do not know.
Yes,
how
I would say
done.
that's a conversation that definitely has value, and I would
Yes.
recommend that you continue that
value,
conversation with web services and also with the university marketing and communications department, because it's something that keeps coming up. What we're talking about now is something that we can do in the interim. And if it turns out that it's not possible to do what you're looking to do,
Okay.
and go ahead and move forward with increasing your visibility. And that is something that is yours and you can take with you wherever you are. And hopefully that is at Prairie View for a long time, but it's something that is uniquely yours.
Yes.
And someone, Dr. Foster, just said the Faculty Senate could also address this for all faculty and staff. So that's a
Excellent
great
point.
it's a great possibility. Thank you, Dr. Foster, for that. Shayla?
Oh,
Oh,
I
is there
Dr.
another
Abram
question?
Johnson. I think Dr.
Hey,
Abram
I had a
Johnson had a question.
Yes,
yeah, I have a
yes, go
question
ahead.
because I was just going to add that Dr. P is on online, I believe still, and I mean, asked that to be a part of faculty senate, because it does look more professional when it's coming. It's university focus versus personal focus, because we could have our own agenda, you know, and not have it actually lend the credibility from the university. It seems like it would be more credible coming from here versus coming from a personal standpoint.
Great point.
Now, are you saying that you want NICS to have you want Faculty Senate to have a web page from NICS? I'm sorry, from
No, from the
Wix?
university. It wouldn't be from, it would be allowed from the university, not from Wix.
So we have a SharePoint website. So everything was changed over when we went to SharePoint, and it needs to be updated. And once we get it updated, we'll share it with everyone.
Oh, that was just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Just
That's a
thought
great
maybe
point, though,
if the faculty senate were to have a voice in that, then we could possibly get that kind of fast forwarded to help assist with that.
That's
So
a great
this may
point.
be something that Faculty Senate could bring up and maybe put forth what the general consensus is from the Faculty Senate.
I think that's an excellent point.
That's an excellent point.
Mhm.
And so Wix, Shayla.
All right. Well, last but not least, when you're getting to a point where you're ready to share with the world what you've done so far, Wix automatically saves your changes. But in order for those changes to be visible, over here on the right-hand side, last thing you need to do is always click publish. And the first time you click on this, you'll get these 2 options. You can connect your own domain. If you had yourname.com somewhere that you've already purchased, you can connect that, but that is not free. That will cost you about $130 a year to have your domain connected and make it sound professional. Like I said, if you're working on other things and you want to kind of have a hub for all of those things, great idea. Or you can use the free Wix domain and it will look just like this. Whatever your account name is, .wixsite.com / and we can call this, right now it's just its website. But I'm going to leave it like it is and click publish and continue. And this will allow other people to see your website. I'm going to click done and you'll see that check mark over here. Then we could go to our site and take a peek, and it would look just like the preview that we saw earlier. I am going to stop sharing and give you all a chance to ask any further questions that you might have or any comments. Like I said, I just wanted to share with you all just an option that is available to you. The free version, be aware, will carry at the bottom of your site a little note, like a little ad. It says, you know, this site is powered by Wix. Get your own Wix site. That's the price we pay for it being free. But if you don't want that footer, of course, you're always welcome to pay for a yearly subscription. I really appreciate you all allowing me to share with you today. And I'll turn it back over to Ms. Cotton if there are any other questions or comments. Thank you so
We
much.
are 3 minutes over at this point.
Yes.
There is a question: how do you log in and out before publishing from Wix? And also, where is the info for the SEO on Wix?
Oh,
So
thank you
if,
for,
before you go to that, I know that we are over time.
yes.
So if you have to leave now, we certainly thank you for your time, and we hope that you'll join us on next Monday for the Research and Innovation Training Institute. If you have time to stay, and if you have additional questions, we'll be here in the room for a few more minutes. So thank you and have a good day. And for the rest of you, let's continue, Shayla.
Thanks for the information. I do appreciate it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome. My pleasure. Thank
Thank
you
you very
all.
much. It's very good information.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye-bye. So I will answer this question about the info for the SEO. So let me, if you don't mind, Ms. Cotton, I'll share my screen again.
Go ahead.
And let me see. That's what happens when you have too many windows open. Okay, it's this one. Okay, I'm going to try to go back. Oops. Sorry, I have too many things open on the screen. So, I'm going to go backwards and go to my sites. I'm going to click on Site Actions and then select an Edit Site. And once I go to this dashboard for the website, before I get into editing, as you can see, I have lots of options and things that I can do. Over here on the left-hand side, see where it says marketing and SEO. I'm going to hover over that, and here where I have the SEO tools, I'll click on that. This is where you would start, and you have several things that you would want to do to increase your visibility on Google. So we can click on Get Found and click Start Now. And then they'll help you build a checklist of things you want to add or do to your site. We'll leave the brand name as website. And then we'll just say people from everywhere. And then the words you want in your checklist, I would say these things that, like they say here, that naturally flow with your site's content. So if there are certain phrases that you know are germane to your area of interest or your research areas, type in as many of those as you can think of. Anything that somebody might remotely Google, those who are experts, all the way to those who are novices in your area. Even if they give it a layperson's term, type those in as well, so they can be directed to your site. So if you do research in a particular area, I don't know, stem cell research, you include those terms that are, you know, professional jargon, but you also include those simple terms that somebody like me who doesn't know a whole lot about stem cell research might Google, so that I could find you instead of somebody else's site. So the more the merrier would be ideal. Okay, but once you get that list, you're gonna have to narrow it down to 3. Okay, up to 3 keywords. I like to make a list in Google Docs of all the different words I can think of that somebody might look for when they're coming to my site. And then on here, you get 3. What are the top 3? And you pick from that list. I would do the same thing with this that I do with writing. Just brainstorm.
Ms. Wiggins,
like
could I ask you something real quick? Would
Sure,
you put
please.
your name on there?
You could, yeah. If you want people
if people are Googling your name, the first thing they'll find is this website, sorry.
No, that's a great question. Yes, if they're Googling you, you could definitely put your name right there. That's a great question. Great way to get found personally if they're looking for you, because that changes the focus. And it's not necessarily your area of research, but it's you they're looking for. Great question. Yes, put your name. I'm just going to put apple because we know that's not what the site is, and lettuce. Okay. Now, here are some things they're going to give you that you need to do to optimize the visibility of your site. For example, I put in apple and lettuce because that had nothing to do with my site, because I wanted to see what are they going to tell me to do, because those words do not appear anywhere on my website, but I want to get found for those things. So what do I need to do? I need to set the title, and you can go into your site and you'll see a place where you can rename the page so that that pops up. Add the home page's description, and then they give you the tools to do that. Kind of like if you're doing your taxes with H&R Block, they always tell you, go back and fix this, go back and fix that, click on this, and you can retype and redo. They do the same thing with Wix. This you've already done. We've made our homepage visible, and we've optimized our site for mobile devices. That was automatically done through ADI. If you choose to do this from scratch, you're going to need to go back and forth between both views because they're not going to be the same. If you choose a particular feature on the desktop site, a particular type of slideshow or something like that, that is not always going to look like that on the phone. So you need to toggle back and forth. You're going to have to update both to make sure your site is not one of those that we get frustrated with when we pull it up on our phones and nothing works, or we're having to make everything super big and move things over and up and down. So you're going to connect your site to a custom domain. That helps a lot, but it's not necessary. And then connect your site to a Google Search Console. So Wix will give you a list. And then here are the other options. They're going to give us
the Google Search Console?
Oh, here, let me go back up and I'll show you. I should have clicked on that. Let's click go for it. Now, it allows us, oh, I have to go back and finish the checklist. But it allows us to kind of go through Google. Wix is a third-party reseller of a lot of Google products like Google Workspaces. So they'll help us connect to I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. They'll help us connect to that particular option that Google gives so that we can submit the page where they'll index it faster. In other words, we want to appear on the first page of the search results, because we all know if it's on the second page of Google, nobody's going to look. Everybody kind of uses whatever was on the first page, kind of like Amazon. If it was on the first page, we're good to go. If it was on the second or third, people assume it's not as relevant. So we haven't finished our checklist, so it's not going to let us connect to that Google Search Console, but Google will give you tools to allow you to be seen by more people. I hope that answers your question in a really long way. Sorry. Ms. Cotton, did that answer your question? I'm sorry.
It did.
Okay.
I was actually asking a question for the group.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. And then here is a long list of things, of tasks that you would need to do on each page. And Wix is cool because they give you a task list for each page that you have. And you can kind of go through and make these corrections on every single one of your pages to make sure you get found. It takes time, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it when this page comes up before anything else. Does that help a little? I hope that answers your question about the SEO.
For those of you that are still in the room, please take a minute. He said yes, absolutely, it answers the question.
Great.
Please take a moment to complete the brief survey that is in the chat box. It will just let us know how great Shayla did, or if there are additional questions, if there's something else you want to know about, please complete the survey. It just helps us to make sure that the information we're providing is of value to you. So please just copy and paste that survey and complete it. And Shayla, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for letting me come and share and hang out with you all today. It's a lot of fun as always. Thank you.
Lots of great information, great energy. Thank you so much. And I think that I'll speak for those who were here today. And I think that it definitely has value. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all later. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.